Playoffs are kind of crazy, man. Sometimes they're fun when you're not stressed about your specific team. Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche Podcast, presented by Bet365. We got Biggie and Rudo coming to you on an off day before Game 6 for the Avs. We'll get into a bunch of the different series around the league because it's been fun. It's been a good playoffs. Only one team eliminated so far. Lots of good stuff there. Before we do get into that, we got your Avs-Dallas series news a little bit, though. On the Dallas side, Heiskanen skating with guys in practice. I don't know that I'd read too much into it, but, you know, maybe there's a non-zero chance he plays.
And that's okay, you know. And again, I think he was just filling in a practice for Lyubushkin.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably taking a maintenance day, but you never know. So, hey, if he's there, awesome. I mean, it's all good. Who cares? Like, Avs got to play their A game.
Doesn't matter who's out there. Go beat them.
It doesn't matter. You got to go out there and play. So.
Exactly. We'll see. On that side of the series, I do think it'll be interesting. Avs are facing elimination, so you're going to see the caged animal on their side, and however that plays out, it plays out. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, of course. But I don't know. What is your vibe today? Obviously, we're taking it day by day here, but do you think the Avs are going to be prepared for Game 6?
I think the Avs will be. Obviously, I just came back from practice. It's optional day today.
Yeah.
Kale out there, Nate not out there, Lecky not out there. You know what I mean? I think it's more like whatever you feel like you want to do. You know, you want to do a workout, you want to get out there. I feel that the Avs will be ready. I said that yesterday. I said it after the show.
Yep.
I was disappointed in their game. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I was expecting a better game after Game 4. Yeah, I do believe that everything goes out the window right now because now it's all about your backs against the wall and you got to put forth your best game. You know, as individuals, as a team, every components of a game: goaltending, defensive zone coverage, neutral zone, offensive zone, face-offs, scoring chances, bury, execute. I mean, all those things. I mean, you got to make sure you're on top of it and you're putting your best foot forward. If you don't, then you're done. And, you know, hats off to the Dallas Stars, and they beat you. And then you do have regrets, and then you look back and, you know, if we would have done this and done that, you know, so you don't want to have regrets. Give it all you got, move on, and one game at a time. Actually, it's one period at a time, one shift at a time. It's the old cliche, but that's how it works.
I mean,
it doesn't work any other way.
You get ahead of yourself, only bad things happen, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Is what it is. Avs, as a team, expected to be the same lineup. I know, you know, maybe EJ's in for Walensky. Maybe you swap a bottom of the forward guy. But based on an optional practice, we're not going to really have any reads into those lines. So, is what it is there. We'll have to find out at morning skate tomorrow.
Even at morning skate.
That's fair.
You know what? You might not even, you know, this deep into a series, you might not even have a regular morning skate. You might still have optional. And then all of a sudden, you're filling in blanks. And it's like, wow. Is he playing or is he just filling in because the other guy's not there, right? You know, so it's hard to judge. And then you're going to wait till the presser for the coach and you're going to say, his Rudo in, maybe.
He's an option.
Tiff in, maybe. You know, and that's normal. I'm not making fun of Jared. That's not. I'm saying you're not going to get anything. So, you know, what I'm trying to say. But again, we all know there might be a change. He does have some tools if he wants to change. If they feel as a team they want to change a few things, it's there. And if not, 24 hours ago, 60 minutes ago of hockey, they played their best game of the season with that lineup. Yeah. So, you know, whatever lineup goes in there, if it's the same one, then you have a great chance that they play up to their potential.
All right. You did mention Jared Bednar pressers. He had quite a long one at practice today. So he had some stuff to say. Let's hear from Coach on the practice.
Okay, go ahead and take questions for Jared Bednar. Start off with Jesse.
Coach, it was announced yesterday. How's it going? It was announced yesterday that Kale was a finalist for the Norris Trophy, and then today both him and Nate announced as finalists for the Ted Lindsay. I guess just your reaction having two players from this team announce as finalists.
Yeah, great compliment to his game. I mean, I thought he had a phenomenal season. And like, I think he deserves to be up for both of those, and Nate as well for the Ted Lindsay. You know, like there's some defensemen around the league that had some great years and obviously deserve the consideration, in my opinion. You know, Kale just had an outstanding year, and a lot of the numbers show that. And I think players that play against him are recognizing that, you know, he's one of the top guys in the league, obviously, and so the Ted Lindsay is, I think that's well-deserved as well.
Pat, go ahead.
Coach, kind of piggyback on that with Kale, when you're comparable is basically Bobby Orr, and you maybe don't score in a series, how do you jumpstart that? How do you get him going? You don't have to do that very often, but how do you jumpstart him? How do you get him going?
Like for Game 6?
Yeah.
Well, listen, I think we're overly critical of his series so far. Like, I've looked through a lot of things. Kale's watched it all. He's had a couple games that he could be better in for sure, but it's a tough series. I loved his Game 1. You know, I think the sights were off on his stick on that game because he got into the slot. Like, I look at the way he's defending. I look at how many chances he's getting in from the home plate scoring area. Game 4, he was the best player on the ice, in my opinion, in either team. And, you know, maybe a little off in Game 5, like the rest of our group. So I'm not worried about him. I think he's going to bounce back with a huge game first of all.
Pierre?
Jared, how much do you draw on the Stanley Cup championship experience of 22 as far as trying to draw on that to find a pathway here against a really good team? And as a PS to that question, you guys have won one playoff series since winning that cup. So is it just something that doesn't transfer that easily? The league is hard, or is it something you can dive into here?
Yeah, I think you learn from all your experiences. Like, we haven't come back in a series in recent past. So that's like, this is a little bit of this is a challenge for us, right? Like, it's a really good team. We feel like, you know, this series we've played some really good hockey. We should be confident group. I like what we're doing 5-on-5. We got to put all the pieces together for a game, right? Like I've mentioned before, I think you're looking at a couple of the games in Dallas, and we've had some guys that didn't play that well, but I really like the way they play in Game 3 and Game 4 at home. So we can lean on that a little bit as well. I think there's things that we did in Game 4 that we really, really liked on the offensive side of it. I've touched on those already. So part of that was like our competitive spirit and how hungry we were on the offensive side of things, winning races and battles, and our decision making and our execution kind of followed that. And we got to get back to that, because I think we took a step backwards in Game 5. Even though 5-on-5, it wasn't a bad game. We got pressing a little bit and gave up some odd man rushes that cost us, which you can't do against this team. So getting the lead will be important. Having a good start to the game will be important. And then, as always, special teams, I think, can take a step. You know, Game 4 at home, they're really good. They make a big difference for us, right? We can't lose it on special teams, because our 5-on-5 play has been really good.
Rod and John, then Colleen.
I want to follow up, Coach, on something you just pointed out. 4 of the 5 games, you guys seem to be the better team on the ice. Is that more of a confidence thing that, hey, we know we're better, or is it more of a frustration thing to saying we should have won one, if not both of those games, and not even still be getting ready for Game 6?
I think when you're finishing some of those games, and I don't think it's 4 to 5. So, like, I didn't think, like, our game wasn't sustained long enough in Game 2, you know, but certainly it's a fine margin for error, and you know, they stuck with it and hung around in a couple of those games and got rewarded for that. I do think that we look at it, you can be, you know, a little frustrated with it after the game, but then you got to move past it. So we're not thinking about like what could have and would have or should have, or what possibly might have been. And after Game 3, you got to move on. So we respond for Game 4. Now we got to respond for Game 6.
John? Rod, right up here.
The guys in the room seemed almost eager to face an elimination game tomorrow. How would you assess their ability to respond to the stakes of do or die?
I'm confident in our team. I am. I want to see, you know, that hunger that we brought for Game 4. I don't think the motivation is there. I think the guys are confident. They believe in this team. It's about going out and freeing yourself up to go play instinctual hockey and confident hockey, and not getting too wrapped up or too tense that it sort of freezes up your game, you know. And we did it for game 4. I think we can do it again. Everything in between has been, you know, pretty close, but it's a fine line. So, like, I believe that our guys' headspace is good this morning. You know, takes a little bit to get over that. We know we weren't at our best for game 5, and so the pressure's on, which is fine. You know, pressure is a privilege, and you earn that pressure. And yeah, we'll see. I think it can. Pressure a lot of times can drive the best out of your team, and that's what we're hoping for tomorrow night. I think the guys are prepared for that.
Colleen, then Mark.
Kind of touching on that, you talked about the ebbs and flows of this series. How advantageous is it to have that extra day off between, and to help your players kind of keep that mental focus that you're looking for that they had going into game 4?
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, you're in a position where you've just put a year's worth of work into where you're at right now, right? So we're not going to give up on that. And I think that our guys are, like, it's about going to play the way we know we can play. And I think that the 2 days off to help us recover from this one again is a good thing. Guys are getting what they need this morning. We'll hit the ice quickly again tomorrow. And yeah, looking to come out with the same sort of energy and passion that we played with in game 4, and it'll be difficult, there's no question, but I still think it's within our capabilities.
Mark, then Nick.
Landeskog returning was such this seismic event for you guys emotionally and on the ice. Has that already become just normal for you guys and for him, that he's just there, he's just part of the team again, or is there still something, you know, out of the ordinary about it?
Yeah, I think it's becoming normal quickly, yeah, and which is a good thing for us. You know, he provides so much to our team on and off the ice, and he's played really well in this series, and you want it to kind of get back to normal as quickly as possible. I do think deep down there's a lot of guys that are like, it's great to have him back, and let's make this a long run, and it's added motivation.
Go ahead, Nick.
Cale set the bar so high for himself, but he seems to hold himself to that bar. Like he said, no, it's got to be a lot better. Is he hard on himself behind the scenes, and do you think that's part of what makes him great?
Yes, and yes. Yeah, I think so. It's like the standard for his play, in his own mind is like, I'll go to him on games. I was like, that was an awesome game. He's like, oh, I wasn't good here or there. Like, he's got it broken down into every defensive play he thinks he can make, every offensive play he can make, and you know, if he doesn't see something that's open on the offensive side, he knows it right away. You know, like, you don't have to go to him a lot. It's a high standard, but I do think that's a good thing. That's what helps make the greats, right? They want every play they want to execute it perfectly. They want to see everything that's open, and you know, that's just not the reality. But I do think that's helped. That's what part of what drives him, is to be the best.
Finish with Megan.
Some of the struggles in this series have boiled down to execution, players getting chances but not burying them. What are your options as a coach to help a player through something that's so personal?
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I don't think it's a confidence thing with most guys. So if there's anything tactical you can show them, you do it. You know, we talk to all our guys, like, you know, like, I think we've hesitated to shoot some pucks from the slot, you know, looking for something greater. So you're trying to give them the coverage that's coming at them, so they know if they get a puck in a certain space, like, what is available and is shot right away, the best thing that you can do, and sort of kind of get them in tune with it. But like, confidence comes from repeatedly doing the right thing, the preparation that you put into it, and if you do everything right, you still got to beat Ottinger, right? So that's just the reality of it. And on some nights we've done a better job than others, and you know, we're gonna have to be at our best for it in all those situations tomorrow. But like game 5, we, you know, looking back on the video, we had some execution problems. So is that preparation, focus? Is it just not being ready for the moment? And then we also had some where we had open looks that we could have, used guys that were open like within our scheme and we didn't see them, you know. So again, that comes down to like awareness on the ice. It's about being in tune and being at your best, and so we have to be, you know, better in all those areas tomorrow night to win.
Thank you, Derek.
Yep, thanks.
So, avoid having ice like Dallas. Get a floor that you actually want to live on instead of it being terrible. That's where Empire Today comes in. Go get yourself over to Empire Today, or even better, get them to come out to you. You can get a free in-home estimate from them. You can see the floors you want and the colors you want with your furniture in your rooms with them. So jump in with them. You can go to EmpireToday.com for more details. You can get $350 off your new floors with Empire Today and code DNVR. Obviously, they give a ton of different options for you. You can go check out their products in store. They only carry the best stuff, none of the junk that some of the other places do carry. It's quality products. And of course, you can even do it online. If you are people that don't like talking to people, you can just go online and use their in-space locator. You can measure out your room and see what the floors look like in that type of space.
So me.
And of course, you can always get that in-home estimate too. So schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. You can get that $350 discount using that DNVR promo code or going to EmpireToday.com/DNVR. Of course, restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday/DNVR for full details, or always you can call 1-800-588-2300 Empire. Once you've got your floors sorted out, maybe don't drive motorcycles on your floors, but go check out the Supercross. The Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championships are racing into Empower Field on May 3rd. You can see the world's best riders like Chase Sexton, Cooper Webb, Hayden Deegan, and more. Experience it all live. Again, they're some of the best bike riders in the world racing way faster than I would ever want to go on a motorcycle because I am scared of motorcycles. I'm going to crash one and die. They will not. Actually, they crash all the time. It's crazy. They're crazy people. But
Made of rubber.
yeah, they also are really good at driving them. So do you drive a motorcycle?
Ride.
You ride.
Yeah,
Ride
I guess you're right. I guess you're in control. All right, fair enough. Whatever they do with them, make sure you're going to check them out. They also have a fan fest that you can get in with your ticket before the race from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on May 3rd. Ages 2 and up require a ticket. Of course, activities vary by location, but you can go say hello, meet your favorite riders, see the bikes up close, and interact with a bunch of different displays. So go check them out. Again, the Monster Energy AMA Supercross. Witness intense competition at the world's elite riders. Go head-to-head. Be part of the action at Empower Field at Mile High on May 3rd, and nothing compares to seeing it live. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. I know you wanted to talk a little bit more about the Avs vibes here. Look, the statistics do not bear well for this core of the Avs. They have never won a Game 7. They've never come back from a 3-2 deficit. They have forced some Game 7s, but they have lost all of those. From a 3-2 scoreline, the Avs are 0-5. As a team with their current core. In fact, they haven't won from a 3-2 scoreline since the 2001 Cup.
Yep.
So,
and it's funny because I did talk to long time Channel 9, now Channel 4, Rod Mackey, this morning at the arena. And then he was like, and as well, no, he's more a Bronco guy, right, than an Avalanche guy. And,
yeah.
But still, he's been around, the Avalanche for a long time, this is sports in the city. And he said to me, he's like, is it true that they've never won since 2001, like in a series where they were down 3-2. And I'm like, it's funny you said that because Rudo said that to me yesterday. Not to the same, a
little different.
But the same thought process. Yeah. Meaning, because I would have been of the idea that this core, and I'm talking about Landeskog, right? Put him in there. Makar, McKinnon, Natushkin, Hayes, guys like that, right? Guys that have been around, Logan for that matter. Guys that have been around since the Cup year, maybe the year before or whatever. I would have told you that, and I keep saying that, they know how to win, and they've done that because in the regular season, they've never had that slide, right? And when they do, they nip it sometimes a little longer than we like, but at the end of the day, there's a reason you make the playoffs, you get 100 points a year, right? Because you don't have those slides. And the playoffs, I would have thought that you were dead wrong. I would have said, no way. These guys know how to win. They do know how to win. It just hasn't happened their way. when it's been easy, like 22-20, when I say easy, it's never easy. But when they've been ahead in series, like, the 2022 run or whatever it is, they've always managed a way, to close them out, right? Now, when you're down 3-2, this is where it tests your character. This is where it tests your everything. And again, I was walking, after Rod said that, after you said that, I'm like, oh my God, it's so weird. Like, they're right. Because I can't say they've been unbelievable, because they have not when it comes down to that. They have not. Can't be afraid of words, right? Now I was walking, from Ball Arena going this way, and then cut across Larimer Square, which it's been the tradition over the years, right? It's always been there, right? The jerseys are there, and I just hadn't been there. I don't still hang out downtown really anymore. So, so anyway, I was like, I'm going to cut across, I'm going to walk through, and then the slogan, which everywhere, like, you build different, and I'm like, oh my God, they're built different, man. So they're going to do it. They're going to go against, not that Rudo thinks they're going to lose. I'm just saying from the part that you told me and then what Rod said to me yesterday and then this morning, they're built different. They're going to get through it. And I sincerely believe that, because they are built different from the last few years. They are built stronger down the middle. They are built, stronger on the back end. They do have the experience. They got strong goaltending right now. It's as strong as it can be, So I was like, you know what? I'm taking a picture. I'm going to send it to Tiff, and here it is. That's my high school diploma. What do you call that? RG cinematography.
There you go.
There you go. I nailed it. It's beautiful.
Hang it in the Louvre.
Hang it in the Louvre.
Hang it in the Louvre.
I'm being honest. Like, it was awesome. But I was like laughing, because I'm like, you know what? They're going to do it. They're going to do. This is a different time. And this is a different year, and this is different players, and I do believe, and I think the most important part tomorrow, because we were talking, and we always talk hockey. We have no life, right?
Our life is hockey.
Our life is sure. It's fine. That's why my wife's like, please go talk somewhere else. But it's funny because I lost my chain of thought, and then chat's going to give it to me now. Oh my God, talking in circles. No, when it comes down to things like that, and a game like tomorrow, and looking around the league last night again, tomorrow you got to be in the mindset of nothing bothers you. You know how hard it is to say that and to actually believe it and to actually live it? Nothing bothers you. Bad call. We see Chad talking about it, and we all agree with it. We've never blamed, by the way, the refereeing this series. Not once, and Rudo was actually the other side. Just saying it's been inconsistent on both sides. Never blamed anything on, but that's okay. It's subject of conversation.
It's bad. You want me to tell you it's bad? It's been really bad.
Yeah, but you've never said it caused
not
anything.
Against the Avs.
No, it's been just not consistent. Tomorrow, nothing can bother you. In the moment, on a crucial part of the game, at a crucial time. You know how hard it is to say that? Hey, nothing bothers you. It's hard. When you're in it, it's hard. The emotions take over. But tomorrow, nothing can bother you. If your coaches, if your players, look no further than the Minnesota Stars last night. You're talking about centimeter, millimeter. And you think you've got the game in the bag, and you win on the road, and you take a 3-2 lead in the series, going back home. And it's called back in the last minute, and it's like, it is offside by a million. Oh, my Lord. As much as you want to tell you, it's okay, guys. Either way, we stay sharp. It's okay, guys. You know how hard that is? It's really hard. And sure enough, Vegas scores, right? So there's so many things, and that's why it's so important to punch back. And that's why that's the slogan. Nothing bothers you. They score. All right, we're going to punch back, and then you score. You know what I mean? So you can't let anything bother you. Do I think they got the built for that? I do believe they do. So I'm looking forward to putting the Build Different slogan to test tomorrow and really test your character as a team. And I do believe they can do it.
You know what the difference is this time? Last 2 years?
No.
Who didn't they have?
Last 2 years, Gabe Landos. Can I say it in Swedish? Landeskog.
You know who they had against the Sharks to force a Game 7?
Gabe Landeskog.
And And you know who they had against Dallas to help force a Game 7 in the bubble?
Give Landers goal.
I'm just saying.
Built
I'm
different.
just saying.
Built different.
Now, the Sharks series, Landeskog may be a little bit at fault for that Game 7
Hey,
loss.
don't say anything.
But
It's not a lazy change.
he also was not in the Game 7 against Dallas in the bubble
Yeah.
because of the injury that spawned all of
Yeah.
this. He's the guy. He's the guy that's the difference maker for the Colorado Avalanche, in my opinion, to get them to a Game 7 and maybe for the first time to get them through a Game 7. I don't even necessarily mean his play, though he's played great in this series for the 3 games he's been in. But he is the guy that has to be the emotional center for the Colorado Avalanche in a situation like this. You watch Nathan McKinnon lose it the other night in Game 5. And Nathan McKinnon, by the way, had 2 points in that game. He was actually pretty good.
He made a superstar play on that goal, that's for sure.
But he was also giving it to most of his teammates. Landy, I promise you, going to have a quick conversation with Mac. They're going to come out focused. They're going to come out fighting the right guys in Game 6. I really do think when you talk about guys that have to say nothing bothers them, Gabe Landeskog's going to lead the way on
and
that.
To keep going on that point, this morning, I skated there in the locker room, and Gabe did skate. Yeah, he was the first guy out there. He did skate. Again, he hasn't skated for 3 years, so he did skate. He's not tired. He's ready to roar.
Yeah,
which is a good sign. But it's funny because he walked through the locker room and with his little fella, his youngest there, beautiful kid, and the demeanor was so awesome. You know what I mean? It's like walking through, and I think the kid, his son wanted to see Mackenzie Blackwood's gear, right? So he's putting the helmet on, and I'm yelling in the background, no, you don't want that. You don't want to let him be a goalie. That's how it starts. They're curious about the goalie. They want to mess around with the goalie gear.
Next thing you know.
So we had a little chat. No. Mackenzie Blackwood, I liked his demeanor because he was really calm this morning, which is awesome. So it bodes well for tomorrow. But it's funny when I'm talking about Gabe is I'm so proud of him because it's like, remember him walking in here as an 18-year-old, not even knowing how to tie his shoes. Again, that's not true. Gabe has always been more, what do you call that? Mature than everybody. But it's still young kid, not knowing anything, moving in with a billet family. And now it's funny. He's walking through the locker room with a second kid.
Yeah.
Makes me feel old. I'm not going to lie to you.
You are old,
but
buddy.
I am old, sorry. It's rude. I don't like him. You're right on chat. I don't like him. Sometimes they say we don't like each other. I don't like him. I like Tiff. I don't like him. I'm kidding. But it's so funny because that's what it's about. It's not like he's stressed out and he's like, no kids today. It's like walking through with his kid. He's messing around with the goalie's gear. All through everybody's walking around and, media there watching. So it's not stressful. Like it's not. And I think that's important coming from your captain down to, you want to talk about captain. I always tell you it's overblown, the letter, but the presence of this captain, like the way it is, it's perfect because I loved his demeanor today.
I'm down for it. It's the Avs are certainly no stranger to this situation, even if they haven't had a ton of success in it. So they should know what they need to do. They should know what it looks like. They just have to go out and do it, as we've been talking about a lot lately. But we also need to pay a few more bills here. So let's jump in and do that, as we are brought to you by Bet365. When you go over to Bet365's app with that QR code on screen, use code DNVR365 when you sign up. Put $10 in, bet $5 on anything. Win or lose that first bet, you get $150 in bonus bets to mess around with. You can go bet on the Avs to come back in the series. You probably get pretty good money there. You can bet on Dallas to close it out. Whatever. I'm not going to judge you trying to make money. Go do what you think is right to win a couple bucks. Emotional hedge. We've been talking about that a lot. The Avs win, you're happy. If you bet on Dallas and they win, you're not happy, but at least you made some money. You can do a bunch of other stuff too. You can bet on the Nuggets, who are doing well in their series, the inverse of the Avs a little bit. You can go bet on the Rockies to lose, because that will happen almost every single day of this year. So go bet on that too with Bet365. Whatever it is you're betting with, make sure you do it with Bet365. Use that DNVR365 code. And of course, when you do gamble with Bet365, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. And if you win a couple extra bucks with Bet365, you can go pick yourself up some ice cold Coors Light. Choose chill with Coors Light today. You can go get it at pretty much any local liquor store in the country. Brewed right here in Colorado, so kind of a local favorite for us. You can get it down here at the DNVR bar. It's the good stuff. If you haven't had it, I don't know. The weather here continues to be weird, but it kind of doesn't matter what the weather is. You can have Coors Light in any weather, whether you're chilling watching a playoff game, whether you're at home grilling out, whether you're heading up into the mountains for a vacation or something. It works everywhere. And the coolest part is you don't even have to go anywhere to get Coors Light. You can sit right on your couch and go to CoorsLight.com/DNVR to get it delivered right to your front door today, thanks to Instacart. Go get yourself some Coors Light. The mountains turn blue on the bottle or the can to let you know it's ice cold and ready to drink. Again, that's CoorsLight.com/DNVR to get it delivered to your front door thanks to Instacart. Please drink responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. I do want to shift gears a little bit here and talk about some of the other playoff series going on. Fun fact for you.
Yep.
The two leading goal scorers in the NHL playoffs are both down 3-2 in their series.
Who's leading the playoffs right now? Let's think.
I know the answer.
No, I don't even know the answer. Who's leading the playoffs?
McKinnon.
Is he leading the
and
playoffs?
Kaprizov are leading the playoffs in goals. At least they were before I didn't check after the end of the Edmonton game. It might have changed, but.
Well, we can look. Yeah. I'm not surprised. Such a small sample, right?
Yeah.
The deeper your team's going to go, the deeper, the higher in scoring your top guys are going to be. That's just the way it is to carry your team offensively. That's every team, not the Avalanche, but every team. But yeah, you're right. It is surprising because it's, but again, it's only 5 games, right? But it's a fair question. I do believe the cream rises.
Boldy and Svechnikov also at 5, but tied for the lead.
Svechnikov, you're right. He had 3 goals.
Yeah.
And they threw hats on his front lawn, which was cool because they were on the road. So, again, the old hat trick with the empty netter. It's nice.
Always nice to get.
You have a chance. When you play those situations, you have a chance to get 3.
Yep.
When you don't play those situations,
not getting there.
It's pretty hard. Now, hopefully, like I said, tomorrow the cream rises and McKinnon keeps going with his point production. Kale just jumps in, and I don't know. I mean, you're one shot away last night, Vegas, from being up 3-2. We all know that. You know what I mean? So then, they're up because, Kaprizov's on fire. He's been back, right? You know what I mean? Boldy. They're carrying their team. And so one shot doesn't break away your question. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
You know what I mean? Because they're, they're down 3-2, but they're one shot away from maybe winning 3-2,
I think it goes to show you need to have more than the best player in the world.
Well, yeah.
You can't, one guy, this is not basketball. This is not tennis. You need an entire team to play the right way.
But to your point, Logan O'Connor on fire first 2 games, and you're like, well, it's not normal. If Logan O'Connor's your link scorer, you're not going to win.
Right,
That's
true.
just the way it is.
You need your best players to be your best players, but you need more than that, too.
That's it. So then if you get the best players to be their best players, and then you're getting that production from Logan that you got, if you're going round by round, then that's a winning recipe. Right?
Agree.
Very rare that it's not, because the cream rise and then the depth got involved.
Yep. You need both. You need both. You also need good defense and good goaltending too to jump on top of that.
Of course.
So it takes a little bit of everything. When you look at these series out west, I mean, they've just been better than the ones out east, in my opinion. I don't want to. Who knows?
Yeah.
Toronto could still blow this thing to Ottawa. Never count out Toronto to blow it. You've seen a lot of different storylines in the West. Avs, we've talked about a lot. We probably don't need to get into them too much more here. Winnipeg and St. Louis tied at 2. Hellebuck once again going disaster mode in the playoffs for them.
Okay, well, let's go with that series then.
Yeah, we'll just work our way down.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Again, what's the old saying? You're never in trouble till you lose a game at home, right? You know what I mean? So, all right, well, compare it to the Avs series, Dallas lost their first game at home, then, second game, and then the Avs lost First game at home, they wanted to say, you know what I mean? So it's been a fight back and forth. That series is more, they took care of business on home ice, and then they went on the road, and the home team took care of business where they've been really hot, one of the hottest teams in the league, St. Louis. And your best players have to be their best players. Connor Hellebuyck, those are atrocious numbers.
St. Louis' best player right now is Cam Fowler. So,
and on top of it, Connor Hellebuck's numbers are atrocious.
Yeah, it's bad.
I don't want to hear like their defense. No, it was like that all year long. There's nothing new. He's not making the saves right now. So when you're not making the saves, it's tough to win. That doesn't matter what team that is. Connor Hellebuyck right now has to step up his game. And that's the difference. He's their best player. He's their Hart Trophy, so to speak, candidate. You know, some people are talking about that. He's their MVP. Has not been up to this. St. Louis, the Thomases, they've been good. The Bennington, with the experience, he's been there. He likes that. He's been good overall, right? So, yeah, I mean, the pressure shifts on you a little bit if you're Winnipeg, because this Game 5 at home is a big one. Yeah, I can't drop it. And that, when you have the pressure, it makes it a little tougher to play than if the team that has no pressure. It's a stupid comment, but it's so true. So we'll see what they're made of. You're talking about the Avalanche, what they're made of, like tomorrow night? You'll see what the Winnipeg Jets are made of tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tonight, sorry.
Tonight, I think, yeah. So, I don't know. That Jets team continues to confuse in the playoffs. I'll put it to you that way. Minnesota, Vegas, we already talked about that a little bit. Very easily could have been 3-2 Minnesota, but offsides makes it ultimately 3-2 Vegas.
That's why every play counts. Every play counts. Oh, my God. That was a dagger, though. Oh, that one hurt. And Fleury gets in there.
Yeah.
Right? Because Gustafson, I'm not sure what was wrong with him. Don't know. Hurt,
that was weird.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't
know. Flower went in there with somewhere in the third period, right?
It wasn't not a lot left.
No, I mean, I wasn't watching. I was watching the other games then, whatever. Came back, I'm like, why is he in that? But whatever. Missed that part.
But I don't know how to feel about this series, because on the one hand, Kirill Kaprizov is a freak. That guy is like playing out of his mind in this series. On the other hand, this does feel like a team that Vegas probably should have taken care of a little bit easier.
And these guys have been fighting for, 3 months?
Yeah.
they've been fighting to stay alive. Then they got decimated with key injuries, and they still fought. That's why I tip my hat to them. You like them or not, that's not. But they put up a big fight to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And now they're getting their best players. For me, their two best players are, obviously Kaprizov and Eriksson Ek. All of a sudden they make a big difference, and we've seen them make a big difference. I don't know. Vegas has been good, and then Vegas has been okay at times in this series. So it's goaltending can be shaky as well. Hill's been okay, and maybe I'm wrong because I've not been. Not gonna lie,
He's not been great.
I didn't watch 60 minutes of every game of that series. I'll catch a glimpse of it. I'll catch a period. I'll switch. You know what I mean? But again, see highlights and everything. But I'm saying to really say I watched all that'd be lying. But I do believe Vegas is a good team, and I do believe our Minnesota are dogs. They're a bunch of dogs. Like they fight in a good way.
Junkyard dogs.
Junkyard dogs. They're going and they're like, we're never out of it, and it's us and Billy Guerin instill that mentality a little bit. So I think it's still up for grabs on that one. Maybe I'm wrong.
Who should feel worse about being down 3-2? LA or the Avs?
Oof. LA is talk about
the way that series started, it really looked like LA was finally going to do it. It looked like they had Edmonton's number. Things weren't working. Edmonton had to go away from Stuart Skinner. Calvin Pickard, love the guy. He's not an NHL starter, and he's winning them a series. It probably isn't really Pickard. Darcy Kemper is trying for that LA team, but that LA team just seemingly cannot get it done.
Well, that just goes to show you, earlier in chat we were talking about, not chat, early in the show, and chat was commenting nothing bothers you. I think this is a perfect example. So for me, your demeanor is very important from your coaching staff. Your demeanor is very important from your leaders, from your coaches. That's why Mac, his demeanor's got to be, sharp. You know what I mean? I'm a big believer in that. And LA was in control, and like you said, Stuart Skinner struggling, like a lot of people had predicted. Last year he went to Stanley Cup Finals, but they're like, yeah, I don't know, that was a one-off. I don't know. I'm not here to talk about Stuart Skinner and the goaltending of the Oilers, but it certainly looked like okay, and that's why the Kings got home ice this year, meaning they finished ahead of them, and they were dynamite at home. I think they lost 4 games at home, right? I mean, maybe even one at the end, a little more, but they had not even their lineup in there. Yeah, I'm just saying. They really, in a nutshell, lost under 5 games at home.
Yeah.
In a full regular season.
That's pretty crazy.
I'm talking about regulation. That is crazy. So they took care of business for that reason. All of a sudden, they go there. Next thing you know, Calvin Pigger's not. God bless Calvin, one of our former guys. Love Calvin. That's not the point. But all of a sudden, he's in net, and LA doesn't take advantage of it. And you talk about nothing bothers you. I do believe they made that challenge call the other day on emotions.
Yeah.
You
can't be doing that. You can't be doing that.
I understand what he was trying to say. I understand what they were trying to do, but you weren't winning that challenge. And I think that right there, emotions took over, and they're like, we're challenging it anyway. And it took, 8 seconds? And Bouchard scored.
Yep.
So that was a tough one. And then the way they reacted in the media after, that was a tough one. You know what I mean? And again, little plays. Was it the same game or the game before? No, the game with the 28 seconds left. Like Byfield doesn't get it out or
and
whatever.
Bouchard again.
And Bouchard again. Bouchard's giving you, nightmares in your defensive zone, but he's producing on the other side. So I've always said,
Jekyll and Hyde a little bit
just
there for
produce.
sure.
I got no problem with the other side, but you better be on top of it. And you better be there for the big ones. But anyway, it shows you like a little thing, nothing bothers you, and all of a sudden things bother you. And next thing you know, it escalates. And last night, I watched a lot of that game. They've been, I used the word dynamite at home this year, the Kings. They were horse poo-poo last night. Oh my God. They were awful. Darcy was unbelievable.
And
Thank
that's
God
about all they
Darcy
had.
was unbelievable. They were bad. And I was like, it's amazing the momentum and the emotions and playoffs. And all of a sudden, like, it was not even a game. And you were like, what? And now Kane's back, and we all know he's got the swagger and everything. And it's like, oh, I think they feel pretty good about themselves going home.
Yeah.
I think you're going to need an unbelievable game from LA. Again, maybe I don't know. But they had the opportunity to close those guys out, and then a few plays there that, they let their emotions get the best of them. Next thing you know, now they are really chasing this series.
It's a familiar but unfortunate spot.
It would be like the gazillion time in a row they're losing to the Edmonton.
Yeah, if the Avs drop their series, that'd be the 3rd time this core loses to Dallas over a handful of years.
Yeah.
If LA drops that series, that's the 4th time they've lost to Edmonton in a row.
Yeah.
At that point, hang them up. You're not beating that team.
I mean, I don't know. Switch it up. I don't know what you switch, but you can't do any better to get home ice this year, and then you're going, and you can't have a better start to the series. And now, again, it's not over. 3-2, but if you're going to ask me, like, who's got the wind in their sail? Like, wow, the Oilers are really like, the boat's flying.
Cruising.
The
They're
sailboat's cruising right now. Yeah, it is. The wind is really there with them.
Swap over to the East. Carolina beats New Jersey in 5. I don't think there's any big surprises there. New Jersey without Jack Hughes and the injuries they were dealing with, it was just
boom.
They were just screwed. Yeah.
That was it. The day Jack Hughes got hurt, which was what, the day before trade deadline.
Yeah.
You're talking about to make something happen to replace your engine. You know what I mean? Like in one day, 24 hours, whatever it was to the trade deadline, and they tried their best. They tried everything, and I mean, I don't think you can overcome that. And then they overcame. I mean, they had a lot of injuries on D2, right? For a lot of games, guys played, didn't play.
Yeah, it was in.
Brian
and out.
Dumoulin. I mean, he's a nice plug. And
The
he
other
played
Hughes
30
brother
minutes
was
a night.
dealing with injuries too. Yeah.
Yeah. Which one?
Luke.
Well, Luke. Yeah, Luke. Yeah. I mean, that is tough, man. Like that is tough. And Carolina swarms you. We all know. I mean, they swarm you. They go and. They did what they had to do.
The frustrating part for New Jersey is they had multi-goal leads in a couple of those games.
Yeah.
And
I mean, look at yesterday. That was a wild one.
Yeah.
Was it 3-0? Next thing you change the channel, you come back, it's 4-4. And you're like, whoa, what is going on? Like 4-4? It was 3-0. You know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But good on Carolina. They're feeling good about themselves. And I think everyone had predicted that one to kind of go this way.
The question is, can Freddie Anderson be alive?
Yeah. Well, I was like, I'd pick one of us as an upset. Remember, I was like Jersey. I was like, Markstrom will beat them. And again, did I believe that? Probably not. I was just conversation
That's
on
the way it goes with
predictions.
Yeah. Your Montreal Canadiens have kept it close, but it's not looking good, buddy. Down 3-1 in the series. Washington
tonight
has kept their momentum. Honestly, when you get a team like Washington going into the playoffs, one of two things happens. The magic runs out and they crash out pretty badly, or you get a team that plays free, feels no pressure, and they kind of cruise. Feels like they're kind of cruising right now.
Well, I mean, I did watch that one closely, and again, some inexperience from Montreal. Really young, right? Their core's young, and I think
there's a lot of that going on.
There's a lot of
yeah.
inexperience, and good on them because they're playing in the playoffs, and that atmosphere is absolutely crazy. It's funny because it's mind games. Ovechkin's like, no, it's the same thing as our home games. Buddy, I got to be honest with you. You might be the greatest goal scorer in the history of the league, but you didn't believe that comment. I can tell you that. And that's okay. I know why you were saying it. But then Spencer Carberry's talking about it. He's like, oh, my God, it's incredible. Like, guys, I'm telling you, if you live near there, go. It's unbelievable. Playoff game, Montreal doesn't.
You only need a couple grand to get in the building. But.
No, but whatever. You'll get a hot dog. I mean, because they're the sickest hot dogs. But you know what I mean? And I think Montreal were up to the task. And there's just been that margin, right? You know what I mean? And the physicality, you're talking about physicality. Like Ovechkin's been a
Let's be honest.
monster.
The biggest margin is the Montreal Canadiens need to go solidify their goaltending position.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Montem's been hurt. Dobas came in, and Thompson, same thing. He got shot. He was like dead. He didn't play the third. He played the next game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not saying he's faking. I'm saying it looked bad. Next thing you know, he's back the next game, and he's been good.
Yeah.
And we all know Lindgren too, and we all know that's why we call Charlie from the Avalanche Charlie, because of his brother.
Too many
Charlies. In case somebody gets mad. Don't get mad. But anyway, Charlie Lindgren is more than capable too, but Thompson has really been a little bit above Charlie, right? So, and he's been good. And the physicality in that series has been absolutely nuts. Like Wilson is a man possessed right now. Like game-changing hit on Carrier there. Next thing you know, they score. So we'll see. It's been a fun series. It's been, like I said, next thing you know, there's fights on the bench and linesmen are in there. Like it's old school, you know what I mean? And it's been a fun one to watch. Even though it's 3-1, and it is Demidov. If you've never watched hockey or never heard of Demidov from the KHL, whatever what was he, 5th overall last year? Could have easily been 1. I thought he was 5.
Did he fall? I think you're right. I think
because remember they were scared of his contract, right?
You're right.
A lot of people were saying him or Macklin as 1.
Yep.
I can see why. I love Macklin and I'm biased, but this guy is like, wow, he's dynamite. He's so fun to watch, and it's not my type of player. Rudo knows it's not my type of player, but oh man, you're talking about skills, phenomenal, and the crowd has been in love with him. It's been absolutely crazy.
He's got the pop for sure.
He's got the pop. He's got the swag, and he doesn't get rattled, and he's fun to watch. So you're talking about that power play with Caulfield, him, Suzuki, Slavkovsky, and my boy, Cole. I mean, not Cole, his brother, Lane Hudson. You talking about youth?
Yep.
Wow, that's a dangerous power play for years to come.
Future, you got to like where Montreal is headed.
Shout out to my guys.
Clearly
Jeff
not,
Gordon and
not
Kent
quite
Hughes.
there yet for this
Jeff
year's
Gordon,
playoffs.
Kent Hughes, the rebuild is in progress. They're getting there, and that's awesome. It's fun to watch.
Battle of Florida.
Ooh, same thing. Big boy hockey there.
Florida ends up going up 3-1 in a crazy game the other night where Tampa Bay scores twice in 11 seconds, and then late in the third period, Florida scores twice in 11 seconds to win the game.
It's all about the pushback in playoffs. It is right there. You see it. And you're seeing two experienced teams, right?
Yeah,
and that's why they know how to do it. That's why they both did it. Cooper's losing his mind a little bit.
That's typical John Cooper losing.
There's been some questionable hits. Obviously, Ekblad being suspended again now. The first 2 games were because of the 20-game suspension of
first 3, I think.
Wasn't he like the rest of the regular season plus 3, whatever? He's barely played.
He was back for 1 game and
now he's gone for 2. Yeah. There's been some crazy hits there, and Matthews in the middle of it. The Hagel's in the middle of it. Obviously, Hagel's out. Goaltending's been hot and cold. Somebody, oh my God, I think I have it. Oh.
Do you?
I think I have something right here.
Okay. Well, while you look that up, Florida's the defending champs, man. You cannot ever sleep on those guys. I know a lot of people like Tampa. Really really probably should be the winner of this series coming out of the West or out of the East, in my opinion. But you never know. Maybe Carolina can finally do the thing.
Okay, but I didn't take a picture of it. Man, I'm sorry. I was reading, and you know me, I take a picture when I see something. Vasilevsky.
Yeah, he looks human, man.
It showed his save percentage the last 4 years in the playoffs, and I was like, "Huh? You're talking about like 800s?" And I was like, "What? Really?"
Yep.
Because remember, his numbers were so unreal.
Yeah, the Avs broke him.
Yeah. No, I mean, forget about expected goals. I know he was with McKenzie at the top of the league there this year so far after a few games, but I'm talking about save percentage. Like, are you saving the puck or not? Basically, you know what I mean? Like, and it was atrocious. I mean, it's Vasilevsky. Yeah. One of the guys I say is multi-cup winner, one of the best goalies in the league. Like, I was like, he was. Remember, like after a loss, his numbers coming back was ridiculous.
They were
for a few
genuinely
years. I've never seen anything. It was an automatic win.
Yeah, his save
if you
goals
didn't
against
bet
was like
that,
under
you're a
one.
moron,
It
right?
was
You know what I mean?
dumb,
So
yeah.
Anyway, I'm just saying that's big boy hockey there. It's physical. Two teams that have won not too long ago, right? Obviously, 2022 they were in the finals.
Yep.
Tampa, and then the last 2 years, Florida's been in the finals, and it's funny how you make a trade for, you know, the Rat, their Marchand, and you know,
yep.
And then who's he hanging out with all the time? It's Sammy Bennett.
Yeah.
It's who's the other guy that's a pain in my butt there?
You're gonna
Matthew.
have to be more
Jesus,
specific.
that's
Of
getting
course,
worse than
Kachuk,
Matthew.
yeah,
And then so you got all three there, and then they're starting this new thing after games, and they're shooting the rubber rats on the ice at Marchand, and you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, and then remember after the hit that Barkov took, and at the end of the game, those three were right there in the other face, the other team's face, and you know what, we're going after you, Kucherov, and you know what I mean? Like, listen, like it or not, they're engaged. That's how they play. They play on the line, and wow, what a physical series that's been.
It's super good series.
But we all thought Tampa would be in a better shape than.
I don't know that I did.
You didn't?
I was picking Florida there the whole time.
Oh, you did. That's right. I took Florida too, but I thought remember, I go back to the trade deadline. I like what's his name there? Julian had done at the deadline. Remember, they went Gord and you know, like all that stuff. And again, Bjorkstrand hasn't played because he's been hurt. But I thought it'd be a little closer. I really thought Florida was going to win, but I thought it'd be a little bit. I don't know, maybe numbers wise closer and not 3-1.
I did think it was going to be 2-2 as well.
Yeah, so.
There you go. See, I picked Florida at 6.
Yeah, you and me. So
maybe didn't even give them enough credit.
AJ's the one, 10. That's right. You're right. Okay, I knew it was one of us. I didn't remember.
Last series, Toronto, Ottawa. I don't need a deep analysis. Can Toronto blow a 3-0 series lead? That's all I want to know.
While you're finding it, like it's funny because national media this morning in the locker room, I asked them, you know, I'm not going to say his name, but it doesn't matter. It's not important. It's not saying anything, but it's like, hey, are you serious? Would you like to be in Toronto this morning? No. Wouldn't that be unbelievable? He goes, buddy, there's a reason I'm here. Because it's always like that. And it goes nuts. And you know what I mean? Like, but it was funny because like it all piques our interest, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh my God, the amount of pressure that's going up. They can say all they want. Like, Tanev, I thought, answered awesome last night. He's like, yeah, I don't know. We're up 3-2 in the series, so we're fine. Which he's right. Remember when I say nothing bothers you? The way, I mean, but it's hard. It's hard to actually believe 100% you're saying that because it sure is tickling your neck right now. Like, oh God, we just dropped the last two. And
the thing about that series is Ottawa has nothing to lose, right? They're a team that barely got in. There are no expectations. They're just out there. Like, if they lose the series, who cares?
You know, Hallmark is record in +3-10 in his career. This guy's never really played in the playoffs. He's 3-10. Swayman, as we know, played the last couple of years when you think about it. But he can go in there and steal you a game.
Yep.
Like, I can see that. Is it tomorrow? I don't even know what the schedule is, but maybe it's tomorrow.
I don't even know. I'd have to look.
He can go in there and absolutely steal you a game, man. You know what I mean? And it's like, then you're Toronto. I mean, I do believe they're in trouble already, but you're really in trouble if you lose that one, right? Now you're You're going on the road. I do believe it's better for them to go on the road. I do believe that because it's like
get out of that building.
But even so, there's so many Toronto fans in the area. I mean, it's the Leafs, original six. Ottawa's not a big province, but it's funny. Like you're talking about going dry and the power play going dry, and they talk about the 5 forward unit. You know, that's all they keep saying. The 5 forwards. You know, next thing you know, your best player, Austin Matthews, makes a bad play, and then he gets picked off, and then they get the shorty, which was the back breaker in that game. So. Yep. Everybody makes bad plays, you top end guys, but your top end guys have to be top and have to be the top for you to close out series or stay alive in series. And Toronto was not up to the task yesterday. And I know the coach said today, I don't care about the core. It's our whole team. No, I get that. But we all know if your core is not playing well, it's a tough way to win.
Yep. Can confirm.
They were flying. Nylander, the first year, they all got their stats the first year, and then they went dry.
Yep. And now what? How do you work out of it?
Now you're struggling. So we'll see. But talk about pressure. Whoa.
Yep.
That's a tough one.
Have one super chat to get to here. $5 from Melanie, who says, my thought process, all streaks, good and bad, come to an end. Go Avs. It has to happen eventually. Just by the laws of the universe. Eventually it'll happen.
Good streaks and bad. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, they'll win a game 7 someday. Maybe it's Saturday. They got to win a game 6 before they do that, though. So.
Game 7s are so fun. I'm being honest. Like, I played in
the playoffs are fun. I mean, they're frustrating and awful and terrible, but they're also great and amazing and super cool.
Playing 3 or 4 or whatever. Man, they're fun.
Yeah.
I was watching the Vegas game with a Vegas fan last night, and it was just like she was so like. Oh, I was like, this is what it's like watching me watch a fucking Avs game.
Do you think you lost the game in the last minute and you're going down 3-2, and then next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, there's an offside. What? And then you're going up overtime and you win. It's like you basically really lost the game. You're talking about like this much. Like, again,
it's hard out here. It's hard out here.
Was that the way they wanted the rule to work? Probably not. But it is what it is. Technically, it's still offside, right? You know, so you can say all you want and be mad, and it's technically offside. But that was not the the rule, like the whatever the word is I'm looking for. But why the rule was invented, it was more for real like mess ups, and like these are like
just be leading the game before then. If you got
don't leave it to that, man.
Same way, it's like same thing as the Avs. Oh, they've lost 2 games in overtime. Yeah, maybe you should have won them in regulation. All right, like
don't leave it to a bad bounce.
Yep,
right. Exactly. I always say that it's on you. It's not on the refs. Don't leave it to a bad bounce. And always.
That's the way the playoffs go.
Always put your best foot forward.
The way the playoffs go.
No regrets.
We are back tomorrow, pregame, watch along, postgame as usual. Whatever happens in that game, we'll see. If they lose, we'll be a live Friday with a season wrap up. If they win, obviously there'll be a game 7 on Saturday. So playing the schedule by ear a little bit for us for the next couple of days. Hopefully you'll join us for it. We appreciate all y'all hanging out, even on these off-day shows in the playoffs. No matter what happens, though, you can find us, DNVR.com. Find all of AJ's amazing written pieces. You can go on our YouTube to find all of our YouTube stuff. Check out our events. A bunch of cool stuff happening if you want to forget about hockey and just have some beers and enjoy the Denver downtown.
Are you going to do the golf tournament?
Saturday? Well, I mean, Friday.
You know more about it than I do.
No, I saw that I was going to help him out. But I'll probably go hang out for, again, I'm bored, man. So
you're going to bring your putter? Your stick
here.
putter? No! Bummer.
Yeah, I know.
It's all right. We don't need an LA putter around here anyway. We are wrapping this up, though. We appreciate all y'all hanging out with us again. This has been the DNVR Avalanche Podcast presented by Bet365, and we'll see you for Game 6.
We all silly like the mayor.